Good morning. Welcome to the morning break. As we continue through music that won't be the open music as we get ready to sell. That's really strange. I swear, take some of the stuff I pick. Nah, we're just getting rid of that right away. How about that? Welcome to the morning break. I'm Rob Patz. It's good to be here with you on this Tuesday. And it's crazy. Crazy to think it's already the middle of July. Of course, yesterday on the show, we talked with Stephanie Esposito. Her kids are on a split schedule, so they're already back in school. How crazy is that? They went back first day of school yesterday. Stephanie will be referenced later in the show. I call that foreshadowing. By the way, today, National Junk Food Day. I brought props. Pops? I brought pops too, but I brought props. These are my wife's, actually. She got these on an airplane, and so I stole them out of the kitchen. So I was looking around. Sadly enough, really didn't have any junk food, so that was like the only thing I could find, which is kind of funny. But yeah, she got that on our last flight from Puerto Rico, and you've heard me talk about Puerto Rico, of course, last week when we got back, and this week too. Their coffee's amazing, and it is incredible. I actually got some. Brought it back through customs. If you follow us on social media, you know that. Brought it back through the ag people and everything. Got that all squared away. And I will tell you, we love the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. 7 Weeks Coffee does an amazing job. And that's not what I'm drinking today. I am drinking some of my Puerto Rican coffee, and I got to be honest with you, it's really good. And that's it. But reality is my go-to, I can't be in Puerto Rico all the time, so I can't buy coffee, but I can get the great coffee at 7 Weeks Coffee. They have been amazing folks, been with us for over a year. In fact, they sent me an email today. We're one of their oldest sponsorships that they've ever done. And we are so humbled to be a part of that, be a part of their team. 7 Weeks Coffee. Go to 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. And here's the thing, and I talk about this all the time. Get the variety pack, get the morning blend, get the they've got a couple different ones. They've got a really neat coffee from oh shoot. It's from Puerto Rico, and I can't remember the name that they call it, but it's their Puerto Rican blend. You can get that there. They have all kinds of neat stuff. Go to 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. And of course, you can't have a sponsor if you're going to have a snack show without the great folks at my-snackies.com. My-snackies.com. Listen, I didn't know anything about freeze-dried snacks. I got to be honest with you. I didn't really. I'm not you look at me and you'd think I'd be like a huge snack person. I'm really not. I like carbs. I'm a carb guy. I like, pasta and stuff. But the whole thing of this trend of freeze-dried snacks, first time I tasted them, I'm like, why hadn't I thought of this or been a part of this from the start? But you've got your family trip still ahead this summer. Go to my-snackies.com. That's my-snackies.com. Order from a great Christian company, and we appreciate them so very much. Donnie Young and the great team there, fulfilling your needs. And the one that I am really curious about, and he told me about it, is they have freeze-dried Twinkies. Don't know how that would taste, but you can check it out at my-snackies.com. Mention the fact you heard about it on Abundant TV, and specifically, you heard about it here on the morning break. Today, we've talked about already, it is National Junk Food Day. And I was interested about this. People say, well, yeah, I like junk food, but I like salty junk food or I like sweet junk food. Which side do you fall on? Couple of studies that I saw, about 65% of people are on the sweet junk food side, meaning they like the candy bars, the cookies, and all that stuff. But about 45% of you say salty. Obviously, my wife is in the salty category. She likes the pretzels and stuff like that. I think that was the only, actually, honestly, it was probably the only option for a premium snack on our flight. I don't think there was anything else. But there's a story I will tell you sometime about my Delta experience where I was supposed to get a premium snack, but because I couldn't pull it up, the lady that was not, I'm sure she wasn't new to being a flight attendant, she would not do it. My only complaint with Delta, and you know I am a Delta homer. I love Delta, won't fly anything else. But first time ever that I was supposed to get my premium snack on my flight and was told no. Was told completely no. Like, no, if you can't prove it to me, even though their new system shows me and where I sit, she was no. It was a hard no. I don't think she liked me. I think it was because I was having fun. I really do, because I had fun. Like from if you know me, and I was introduced this way on Sunday. If you know me, you know I don't have people I don't know. I know everybody. I talk to everybody. My wife laughs about it because I'll talk to every. I was talking to people as we're getting on the plane. I'm talking to people in first class. I talked to the flight attendants, and I think I was a little over the top for her. I don't know. It could very well have been that was the situation, but she was a bit grumpy, and it's funny. First time Delta hasn't sent me a survey because I was going to say something about my grumpy attendant. So, but anyway, hey, listen, I'm excited about today's show. Richard Hyssong's going to be here. Richard, his dad is on our network, Joy for the Journey. You see it every day, 6:30 a.m. and again at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. In fact, we compete against each other because I know he loves me. And so his dad, not Richard. Richard doesn't love me, but his dad does. And so we compete against each other. I'm on the live network. He's on our regular national feed. And so we have fun together. But every day, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, you can see Dell. And then Thursdays and Fridays, Thursdays at 7:30 Eastern time, and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern time, Joy for the Journey. His son, Richard, has been a great friend of mine. Well, at least I admit to being friends. He probably doesn't. But then again, he's a Boston Red Sox fan, so we just have to pray for him. Hey, listen, we're going to talk with Richard about a lot of things, including life in general, his dad and his show, all that coming up after this.
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy. A life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, one cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Thanks to great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. Now, they told me, and this kind of hurt me. They said, Rob, we have some sales, but you can't talk about it on the air because we know you would. And you can't because you got to go to the website. Go to 7weekscoffee.com and check out some of their great sales that they've got going on. Now, this is a first for me on the morning break. And I'm truly excited about that. This is the first time I've ever had somebody on the show that was actually at my wedding. That is the truth. This is the first, coming up 5 years.
And shocking.
It's
I went there to make sure it actually happened and that Kristen was going to stay with you. But I don't know. You didn't introduce me yet, but I just thought I would interject that.
Yes, and I was getting ready to. This is Richard Hyssong. His dad, of course, Dell Hyssong. You love him on the network. Joy for the Journey. Richard is here with us. You don't love him nearly as much, probably. But here's the thing. Here's the thing Richard's not going to tell you. He and the manager of my radio station sat next to each other, and they were taking, and I'm going to say it, they're in a church. They were taking bets on whether Kristen and I were going to fall off the stage as we came down the stairs. That was the highlight for them of that and the food.
Yeah, I lost that, by the way. I did lose that. I thought you.
Well, I'm thankful the steps were wider than we thought they were, because if not, I probably would have fallen off the stage, and it would have been a bad situation.
I will say
Um,
this: your wedding, and joking aside, because we'll joke a lot today, but joking aside, was a wonderful time. It was a special moment, and I'm so glad that I was able to make it to your wedding, and especially because the food at the end was phenomenal. So let me tell you a little quick story because this is National Junk Food Day. So
yes.
they had in the back, they did a nice buffet, but in the back there was this guy, and he was like giving away like Coca-Cola and little tiny cans. Well, I didn't know they were complimentary. So every time I went there, I would just give this guy $1 bill. Like I gave the guy like $50 that day, and I didn't realize till like months later that they were complimentary. So
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
actually on the show to get my money back.
no, the great part about that is that is Nazareth Hall that we go to, and we go there like at least once a year for Mother's Day and other events. And they still ask about Richard. They wished Richard would come back because I don't give them any extra money. And
No,
so
I was just flying money around.
you made the day. Hey, listen, a lot to talk about, and I want to talk first and foremost because I hinted about it. I did the foreshadowing. Now get your hat on because Stephanie
Yeah.
yesterday said the
So
Yankees were the best team in baseball. So
yeah.
here we go. Stephanie
Please tell me.
Esposito was on yesterday.
Yeah,
And
tell me about that, Stephanie. 14 in a row yesterday. We're
Yep.
climbing back, and your Yankees were so good we swept you last week. So I almost didn't do the show today because of that comment. Also because I wasn't the original guest, which I
Yes.
want to say this too. So Rob calls me last night and he goes, "Hey, can you didn't think I was going to mention this because you say, hey, we're such good friends, and then you introduce me like, oh, we're great friends, which if you know Rob, he doesn't remember anybody's name. If he doesn't remember your name, he calls you, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. So I'm such good friends with Rob. I've been buddy until about 20 minutes ago. And
Yes.
that's why they put your name on the screen so he can remember it. So
Yes.
he says, hey, buddy, what are you doing tomorrow? Like I have a very busy schedule, Patz, a very busy schedule.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, what time is this? 10:25. I'm like, let me check my schedule. I am free. So he said, yes, all my guests have canceled me. And then I've gone through every one of my Rolodexes, but I'd be so happy to have you on my program. Come to
Yeah.
find out, it wasn't your idea at all. It was your
It was
wife,
Chris.
Kristen's idea. So here I am, the last person on your list, and I feel so good. And then you
Not
said
exactly the last. There were a couple other people, but I felt they were out of the country, so I didn't really think that was going to work out. So
so here I am.
yeah. But it was Kristen's idea. We're sitting there watching TV, and she goes, "What about Richard?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a great idea." And because you were texting us, we have a group text just so everybody knows. And you sent us something, and she goes, "Hey, what about Richard?" So that was it.
Thank you.
We have some great stories. Our second anniversary, we went out to Portland, Maine, and Richard was trapped. He had again, it was another one, kind of like the asking him to be on the show. I said, hey man, you gonna be around your house, coming up? Yeah, I'm home. Good. You want to hang out for dinner? And so we all went to dinner, and the funniest story, we went and had pizza in Portland, Maine. And a story that we still talk about, his son, who looks just like him.
Good looking guy.
Yeah. Well, we'll go with that. And he goes, he orders the ranch to go with his pizza, which I knew that we were going to be close friends because but the joke about it was organic ranch dressing. And that was our night. We had a great time. We love Portland, by the way. Portland, Maine, beautiful place. Richard and his family live up in Maine when they're there. But I want to talk about that. A couple of things I really want to talk about because we'll get serious here in a minute. Right now. I want to talk about the fact that your dad, of course, does his show, Joy for the Journey, but you guys travel a ton. And so give everybody like they know your dad, and they know your dad from the side of seeing him on Abundant TV and on other networks. We're thankful for other places that he's also on. But tell everybody a little bit about the Hyssongs and what you guys do, and that you're not just a pretty face. Because if you were just a pretty face,
I'd be in trouble.
Big trouble. Yeah.
The first thing you said to me was, hey, have you been working out? Your face looks all tan. And I said, no, it's high blood pressure. And no, our family, the Hyssongs, my dad, a lot of people ask, for 25 years, he was a pastor. And in 1996, our family we all sang and were very musical. And so in 1996, our family was actually invited to sing outside of our church. So in fact, next month we're going to be celebrating 30 years in music as well. So we started traveling, we started singing. We do concerts, about 220 concerts every single year, all around the United States, different countries as well. And my dad also does a lot of preaching, a lot of conferences, a lot of pastors' conferences. Next year, we're also doing pastors as well as conferences in Kenya, Africa, the Caribbean. We go all over the place. And so God has been blessed us. It started out with my mom, my dad, and myself. And now traveling with me is my wife, Kelly, who we've been married now for almost 21 years in October. It's amazing. And then our daughter, Michaela, who we'll talk about here in a second. She just turned 18 on Sunday. And then, yes, my son, Richard, who's a lot of fun. He is 14 years old, and we travel. Can you imagine 3 generations traveling together? It's crazy. But God has blessed us so much. And then in 2020, during the pandemic, my dad started doing some Facebook devotionals. And I'll never forget you calling and saying, I think your dad probably should look at doing some TV and radio, and had no idea. I started out doing devotionals on a cell phone, and then now we have cameras and video. It's unbelievable what God has done, and very blessed to be able to be a part of your network as well, Rob, and appreciate you so much.
Oh, love what you do. And of course, his son, I actually have a special name. Not only are we both ranch lovers, but he's now given me a nickname. You want to tell everybody my nickname?
When he was younger, he didn't know your name was Patz, so he calls him Rob Parts.
I am
Rob
Parts.
Parts. He's
Yeah,
Parts. So
it's
he's like,
Parts on
oh,
the phone.
and he knows your name now, but he's like, oh, is Parts on the
No,
phone? And I'm like,
yeah,
yeah.
no, I'm glad he doesn't. But I want to talk about your daughter, and this is serious. Richard and I rarely have serious conversations because we enjoy each other's sense of humor, and you probably can tell that. But
I
a
think laughter
serious,
is like medicine,
it
and you
is.
need it.
It totally, and we are the pills. I think that's something like that. I don't know. I couldn't come up with anything quick. But I do want to talk about your daughter and give us this story because this is a powerful story. And if you have somebody right now that has a child that is dealing with health issues, tell them to tune in or watch this on the replay because this is going to be impactful.
So our daughter Michaela was born on in July of 17, 18 years ago, and when she was born, they had some kind of issues. They didn't know what was going on with her, and her heart didn't sound right. So when she was 3 days old, they actually we went to a larger hospital, and they discovered that she had more than 22 tumors, fatty tubers, really tumors in around her heart. One was blocking the aorta, and they said, "Hey, listen, this is pretty serious. We got to keep track of this." And so every couple of days, we went back to the hospital. When she was 13 days old, they also discovered that through the soft spot of her head, they did an ultrasound, and they found masses of brain tumors as well. They said if she was going to live, if she survived at all, which they didn't think she was going to, that she would never walk, she would never talk, and she would never be like other children. And as a father, as a parent, your heart just breaks. We're often told that God never gives us more than we can handle. And at that point, I thought, no, I'm pretty sure I can't handle this. And so we went through that, and week after week, people all around this world began to pray. We were hearing from churches that we had never ever even heard of before. They would hear about Michaela's story. We were getting prayer shawls sent in the mail. We had people taking pictures of the whole church praying for our daughter Michaela. Well, those tumors began to shrink by themselves, and after a few years, all 22 tumors in her heart were almost completely gone. Completely gone. Only God can do that. We serve a mighty and powerful God, and there's nothing that He cannot do. And I know we say that a lot. A lot of times in churches we say God is good, and then repeat it all the time. All the time, God is good. But sometimes it's like, do we really mean it, or is it just lip service? But God is good, and He really did a miraculous thing in her life. She started walking. She started talking, and I'm proud to say that this year she graduated high school. And wow, like almost like straight A's. She's incredible. She sings, she works in the office, and she is. I hate to say that she didn't take after me at all. She took after my wife. She's brilliant.
I would agree with that. But
thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pats. So So things are going smoothly, going very well. And sometimes everybody goes through something in life. Everybody goes through a hard, difficult time. And so we thought, that was kind of behind us. And in December, the doctor goes, "Hey, she's going to be 18. It's time to do some more tests. We need to do another scan of her heart. We got to do brain. Let's check the kidneys. Just go through just a battery of tests." And so she did that. And then probably about 3 days before Christmas or so, we got a phone call saying, "We're sorry to tell you, but we just found 2 tumors on one kidney and one tumor on the other kidney." And that feeling again just hit me like just like you get kicked in the stomach. And it's right before Christmas, and I'm thinking, man, she is just about finishing high school. And sometimes it goes through your brain like this. Why? I never questioned God. Never. I mean, even when she was going through the first time around, we never questioned God or the existence of God, or we never had that. But sometimes you think, why now? Like she's doing so much for the Lord. And God never says that you're never going to go through the fire. He just says he's going to be with you when you're going through it. And so I think you're one of the first people I remember texting you and Kristen saying, "Hey, I'm just sitting here in shock, and just pray for our family." And so they immediately put her on. This is the first time they put her on some very, very strong medication. And again, people began to pray for our daughter, Michaela. And about a month ago, she had another scan, another MRI. The 2 tumors on one kidney have shrunk so much that they're not even measurable right now. And then the other tumor has shrunk 70%. She has another MRI scheduled in August the 20th. So please be in prayer. Her name is Makayla. She's doing great. The problem is, though, that the medication she's on is on it suppresses your immune system. And so she can't even get sick. So about a week ago, she started coughing and she came down with a cold. And so we immediately spent most of an evening and a day in the emergency room. But even though she's on such high medication, they said her immune system is higher than it should be and her white blood cells. You know what? If you're on that kind of medication, only God could do that. And so she's actually in the other room waiting for me to get done with this so we can go out to eat. But you know what? God still hears. God still answers prayer. And no matter what you're going through right now, don't ever quit and don't ever, ever give up. And so that's the story about our daughter, Michaela.
I love the story. And the part that's full circle, because you talked about the fact that all these people were praying for her when she was born.
Mhm.
She now runs your 516 project.
She does. So that just started happening. So in 2020, we had so many prayer requests coming into the office. I was talking to you. You're like an idea a minute, Rob. And you go, you know what? You should start a prayer team. And I thought, oh, yeah, I'll write them down. And well, next thing I know, we have prayer requests coming from all around the world every single week. It's kind of overwhelming because even though I do have to right now off, but do a lot of different jobs inside our ministry. And so we started what's called the 516 prayer team project, coming from James 5:16. And so we have prayer teams all around the world. In fact, I have a prayer team just in St. Petersburg that had about 150 members just in that one area that meet every week that pray over our prayer requests. And yes, Michaela has just taken that over responsibility. So it's amazing. So many people pray for her, and now she's praying for other people. And that's what we need to do. We need to pray.
I love that. I hadn't really thought of it. You had told me prior to this, and then when you were telling me this story, I thought, how cool a full circle moment that is, and how neat that is. Hey, listen, you've got some stuff coming up that a lot of your things are already sold out, so we can't worry about those. But next year, you have a Christmas event, or there'd be this year. Is that sold out? So is the Christmas?
As of yesterday, I have like 6 rooms left. We do a Christmas by the Sea in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We have worship concerts throughout the week. My dad does a chapel every morning. And yeah, we're at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Everything overlooks the ocean. No, it's not Puerto Rico, Rob, but it's really nice. Man, Puerto Rico, I've heard that over and over and over. That and coffee and Delta. And here I am just in Harrisburg. I see it. Wonderful.
Yeah, but you got to go. Okay, we're gonna veer off here for a second. He got to go to a buffet that even Kristen doesn't like buffets, goes, I would like to go to this one. Give him a shout out. Where were you?
I was in outside of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, at a place called Shady Maple. If you've ever been to Shady Maple Buffet, Smorgasbord. Oh man, it's incredible food. But yeah, in fact, we do a couple bus tours every year to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We have buses coming from Maine, North Carolina. Again, we tour the area, and my dad preaches, and then we do worship concerts in the evening. So we do that as well. We do a couple cruises every year, and we do a lot of different events. They can find more about that by going to the Hyssongs. So just go to my last name, thehyssongs.com. You can find out all about the events that we do around the country.
And don't let it persuade you not to go just because Richard will be there. Because if you love his dad, but his dad, by the way, is super funny. That was the first time we met, and I don't know if you remember this. We met and we were doing an event in another industry. We did the event, and then we went out to eat afterwards at Cracker Barrel. And your dad cracked me up. I was really scared because he looked like a very serious pastor, and he had me cracked up the whole time. And
he is a funny guy. He is a funny guy. He is,
and his stories are worth. My wife and I will sit, even if Richard's there, we'll sit through it because Dell has these incredible. The Mailbox. We were on stage a few weeks ago, and we referenced your dad in the Mailbox story.
The Mailbox story is classic. I mean, those that have not heard about it, we travel everywhere. And to make a short story very, very long and boring, my dad has in his front yard 3 mailboxes, because that's where the mail person comes and delivers the mailbox. We were gone, and so he came back. Do I have time to tell the story? I don't know. I'll tell quick.
Yeah, you got about a minute and a half.
Minute and a half. So we came home, found out he had new neighbors. That's how long we've been gone. They sold the house across the street from my parents' house. My dad said, "Hey, we're going to make them brownies, cookies. We're going to do something old-fashioned. Welcome to the neighborhood." We left that weekend, came back in the middle of the night. I was driving, and the headlights of our bus hit the mailboxes, and he realized the new neighbor put the ugliest mailbox you've ever seen. It was ugly. It was terrible. So my dad said, "Oh, that's it. We're not going to give him brownies. We're not going to give him cookies. I'm going to give him a piece of my mind." I thought, this isn't going to go so well. So the next day, they're unloading their all of his suits and all of his clothes and all that. The neighbor comes down the driveway. My dad said, "I'm going to go talk to him." He walks up the driveway, meets the guy halfway to talk to him about the mailbox. And by the way, that night, my dad, the best part is that they brought like 2 dogs with them. And my dad, he loves dogs, but he likes it, but this was like yip, 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 all night long. So my dad had no sleep, and my dad loves to go sleep around 8 o'clock in the night. So he goes and meets the guy, and the guy puts his hand out before my dad could say anything and said, "I'm your new neighbor, and I go to work with some folks that said that you're a pastor and you do gospel music." And my dad thought, this is not a good time to talk about the mailbox or the dogs. And we were able to witness to those people for a long time, and they started coming to some of the events. But that's a little nutshell. Hey, we did the best of my dad's stories on Abundant TV a couple weeks ago, and it's the first time I think I was in front of the camera, and so they usually don't let me do that, folks. And
we're trying to encourage him. By the way, send in some messages. We want Richard to be on air much more because, as you can tell, he's really a cool dude. Hey, give him the website one more time.
The Hyssongs, TheHyssongs.com.
That's right.
Or you can go to joyforthejourney.us. I forgot about that.
Watch his dad Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Also Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time and 8 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. He's just on all over the place. Plus, you can get him on demand. He is the only show that's dedicated to his own on-demand channel. That's how much we love Dell, not Richard. But technically, they're both. Never mind. We're not going to even go there. Hey, Richard, it was awesome having you on the show today. Yes, put the hat back on for Stephanie. Give her one more point. And, whoa, he's got little Debbie's.
Yeah. It's National Junk Food Day, Junk Food Day, and National Hot Dog Day. But you know what? If you wash it down with Coke Zero, it's healthy again.
All good.
Yes, Stephanie Esposito, 14 in a row, going for 15 tonight.
Richard Hyssong, thanks so much, buddy, for being with us.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, listen, we appreciate each and every one of you. By the way, we need to have him on more regularly. I think that would be awesome. I think he would be a great addition to the show. And listen, taking part of your day. It's been your morning break. Now get back to work, and we'll see you again tomorrow.